wanting to talk with you about LST Endmeetings.
So you might be asking, what is an end meeting? You may not have even heard that term before.
LST Endmeetings had a long history in our projects. We had traditionally, when we were college students going and they were all returning on a Tuesday, we would bring them together in a hotel room and we would sit down and we would talk about all the things that had happened while we were on a project. It was a wonderful time of reporting, a highlight of the trip, way to just really end your trip well. But as we've had more and more church teams go with us, it's been more and more difficult to get our teams to be able to all sit down together and talk about their project and for us to give best practices for going home and reporting. So we've had to think about, well, how are we going to do in meetings with our church teams?
So why don't you just explain why we think that this is vital and important and really consider it the last part of their project and their last part of training.
We believe this is important, that we didn't want to just scrap it and say our church teams don't need in meetings. We want to figure out a way, an order that we can come together and we can share about the project. And we think it's important because we know some things that you might not know about returning. We know ways of returning better than other ways. We know ways of reporting that are effective, and we know ways that are not. And we want to share some of those with you. Also, we have trained you all the way through, each step of the way, and we want to end with training you well to come home. And then it's just so important that we get together and we share about the good work God has done. And we're looking forward to hearing your stories and being able to share that with other teams as well. You know, we have 300 people going out, and we want to bring you together. If we can't bring you face to face, we want to bring you virtually and have this time to share about what has happened while we were gone.
Okay. The next thing that we want to talk about is a little bit about how it works. So if you're an alumni, you may not have done it this way before, so it's really important that you guys still, we want you guys to participate in this. It's very important. So what we want you to do is there's going to be two parts to your end meeting. There's going to be a meal that you have, and it can be either on site. You can get together on site kind of at the end of your project and kind of debrief a little bit, and we have some ways, outlines that you can talk about and talk through during that last meal. The other way is if you live in the same area, in the same part of town, and your team can get together when you get home, that's really a preferable way if you're all together to do that. And you get together and you have a meal together. And then that feeds in very nicely to part 2 of your end meeting, which is going to be the video conference with us. Yeah. So what you're going to do is we need your whole team together, whether you've had your end meeting on site, your meal on site, or if you've had it together here back in the States.
Unless you live in different cities. If you live in different cities, then we're going to ask you to each individually log on. But preferably, we would like your whole team to get together and be able to do this as a team.
Yes. So our goal is to get your whole team together online. There will be other teams joining us for many of these weeks because we've got lots of people coming and going. So that's a really fun opportunity to hear about other projects as well. You're going to choose either a Tuesday at 1 o'clock or a Thursday evening at 8 p.m., preferably that first week that you get back from your project. So then you got to pick a time that everybody can get together and log in with us. And then we're going to go through some things and debrief and talk about some things, and then that'll be the last part of your training with us.
What would they need in order to successfully do this?
Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is, if you haven't told Leslie or I, whichever one of us is your team developer, let us know which of those days, the Tuesday afternoon or the Thursday evening, is going to work best for your team. You need to have a computer that has video and audio capabilities. So usually one person on the team has that.
What about an iPad or a smartphone?
Actually, Leslie and I tried yesterday. I tried with my iPhone. We've also tried it with an iPad. I tried that out with Darren last night, and those worked well. And so we'll give you some more details.
And you will receive an invitation the last week of your project before you come back. Based on the time you tell us, we're going to send you an invitation. This will give you a link in which you just and it will tell you exactly the program we're using in order. You don't have to download anything, but you do want to do it early enough so that you're able to get logged on, and then we're able to see multiple people, and it'll be a really good time. We're really trying hard to replicate what we get to do with our college students, which is sit down around a table and have a conversation.
And we don't want you to think this is too complicated or get frustrated with it, because it's really not, and it's really, really very important. And we're dying to hear about your projects, and it's very important to us. And so please let us know what questions you have, and I know there probably will be some, but please read through the attachment that we've attached in this email.
Great. If you have any questions, just give us